Maybes tend to make for the best episodes because we don't have a thread to follow. We're just kind of winging it.
That's right.
Dude,
And
that
that's
has
how
been
we
my
end
life
up with
the
like a
past 2
3-hour-long
weeks.
episode.
That's just right.
Yeah, that's how Foodcast happens, motherfucker.
Exactly.
And then I've got a hot 2 games on my list here, so you guys just try and beat
Yeah, me
that.
too.
I got 3.
Oh yeah, look at
Well,
this.
let me see
4-hour
what it is.
runtime. Sorry, 5-star
Fucking
runtime. I gotta use
Jesus.
the
I mean,
use the right term.
I can talk about the food that's in one of them because I'm
Is it a
down for some
Vanillaware
good.
game?
No,
Ah, damn.
no, it's
Never
it's-
mind.
Spoilers,
Monster Hunter?
it's Tokyo Ghostwire, and they got some decent looking fucking rice balls.
Yeah, I
and
got some good mochi in there.
Yeah, they do. They do. So Boston,
Yeah.
I did it.
Huh? Oh, Moon has the
Like
Don't
you were lifting your shirt.
don't tread. Oh, don't tread rhythmically. That's really good. Hi, Faeror. Also, hello, Internet. We're doing it early because outside of this window, there's a hurricane. So we're trying to
Yes.
get out ahead of the power outage.
So
And you
Moon
do not want to be
did
rocked like a
lift-
hurricane.
lift his shirt
Definitely
so
not.
that we could read it, but that was not
Yes.
like I was thinking he was lifting his shirt to show us like I don't know some UK flag he got tattooed on his chest or some shit.
So I wore it yesterday for special reasons, and then the special reasons never happened. So of course, shit happens. Whatever.
Yep.
Technical
issues.
Yes. So I wore it today. I went and did grocery shopping, went to the pet store, bought a bunch of stuff. And as I'm checking out the pet store, the cashier does a double take. Like, sees the color, sees the design,
Mm-hmm.
and then looks away, and then looks back again.
It's like,
and
wait,
then
that's not the
sees
snake.
picture. Yeah, sees the picture, reads the actual text, and busts a gut laughing.
That's really good.
And was just like, that might be my favorite T-shirt I've ever seen in my life. I was
love
like,
it.
okay, so you get it. That's good to know.
Yep.
Oh, it happens every now and again where I will just get a "Hey, nice T-shirt" like reference.
Right.
When I was in Rhode Island and at the aquarium, I think I wore one of my Danhausen shirts,
Mm-hmm.
and someone was like, "You going to the show tonight?" And I was like, "What show?" And they're like, "Dude, they're like down the road."
Right.
I was like, "No, I didn't even know. Otherwise, maybe, but no."
Oh man. All right. You guys ready to start?
No. Fucking 7 days till All In Boston.
Yeah. Yeah.
The AEW pay-per-view that's taking place at Wembley in England.
Ooh, exciting. Favorite in chat says
80,000 people.
Dang. Favorite in chat says, which Raspberry Pi do you recommend for a Pi hole? You can do like a 3 or 4. Either one will do okay. I've heard people use a W or a 0, which are like those very tiny little boards.
Yeah, it's like the USB stick, basically.
Yeah, I've heard those are okay, but they're not as powerful. The real secret about Raspberry Pi 2 is, or a Pi hole is, you can really run it on anything as long as you can install Debian. So if it runs Linux, which should be like almost anything in your house that has electronics in it, you could probably run Pi-hole on that. So even if you have like an old laptop laying around or like an old desktop that's kind of crummy, you can probably install it in there and get it going. So
are they still having shortages issues?
Yeah, because my Pi is actually dying. The NIC died in it. I thought that my Pi-hole install died. So for taking a step back, if anyone doesn't know what a Pi-hole is, it's a whole house ad blocker. Essentially, you just like turn it into a DNS and DHCP server, and it just blocks however many ads it really can. And it's really, really, really good. But
I desperately need to make one of those for this house.
Yeah, they have made it so much easier too. Like they even have their own OS for it now. So you can just put that on a flash drive, an SD card, pop it into a Raspberry, fire it up, and just run one command, and the whole thing just installs. It's really great. But I thought it was dying because I had it installed. I needed to update the OS. I needed to update the software. And I was like, all right, let me just blow the whole thing back out, install the brand new OS, install the brand new version, and kind of just clean up the whole SD card. No, I found out network card is dying on that thing, which makes sense. It's probably like 8 years old or something. So I haven't really treated it super well. But yeah, when I went to go look, I was like, maybe I'll just spend a little bit of money and buy like the full kit that comes with the case and the heatsink and the SD card and all that stuff. Yeah, it's like $130. I was like, no. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I have my eye on an old. So, my hopeful next project is I have an eye on an old Dell 7050. They're very thin, super small desktop PCs.
Yeah.
I want to buy one of those and install either ESXi or Proxmox, which is the bare metal virtualization platforms. Install it on there so I can run Pi-hole and that Home Assistant software I was looking at, and then I can just turn it into a very... Essentially, instead of running a bunch of Raspberry Pis to do all these things, just run that machine and run a bunch of tiny little, like super small VMs on it.
Let's say ThinkPad and Lenovo have comprehensive versions of the 750 Dell as well.
Okay.
They tend to be cheaper.
Okay.
I haven't looked at the market in a while.
Yeah,
so
I'm seeing
this is like
stuff,
a couple years ago they were cheaper.
Yeah, I'm seeing stuff around the $70 price
yeah.
with like power cables and everything. That's about what I would spend. I don't think I'd spend over $100, but I'm looking at like that $70 to $80 price for like a pretty modern computer with like 16 gigs of RAM or something. I was like, yeah, all right, yeah, I could spend that much on like a small bare metal virtualization box.
Super easy to work with too. I had when I used to work with Herman Miller forever ago, they had those like all over the place, and you just pop off the top shell and like everything's right there.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, we just had to blow it out and replace the hard drive, and we were good to go. So.
Yeah. I'm sort of keeping an eye on those and seeing. I think that's the next thing I might try and do. We'll see. Projects. I gotta rip all these VHS tapes first, though. I gotta focus on that. So, one of these days.
One day.
All right, are you guys ready?
Because you have extra time now.
I do. Yeah, I thought when my kid was going back to school, I was like, as soon as she goes back, I'm just gonna fire up this VCR I have sitting right here, and I was just like, no, I'm just gonna take a little time off. I just take a little me time.
Yeah.
Now back to work. All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
Sure, maybe.
Hopefully. All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast, aka TVGP. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpier.
Hi.
And the Nymph.
Hello.
Couple of production pieces of news here. First up, before I forget, brand new episode of Game Club out right now in the feed. Hopefully, barring the next thing I talk about, we talk about playing The Bookwalker: Thief of Tales, which is currently on Game Pass, around 6 to 7 hours. Has some technical issues on seemingly every platform, so if you maybe give it a minute and then hop into it, the Game Club episode will still be here. So
go listen and ignore the fact that we spoil every single part of it.
Yeah. Either one, whatever, as long as you're listening, I don't really
Maybe they're like you and me, Boston, and we'll forget it 2 minutes after we've said it.
100%. I usually forget talking about the very episode that we recorded yesterday on this show, so I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm aware. Yeah, I got your back.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So that should be out if you're listening to audio version here. Should be out in the feed at the same time. Though I am currently in the path of Hurricane Hillary. We are recording this a little bit earlier than usual to try and beat any sort of potential winds. I just looked out the window and it's raining much harder now, or potential power outages. So if this episode is late or half done,
Weird.
yeah, or weird in some way,
Shouldn't stop.
yeah, just that's what happened probably. So fingers crossed nothing does, but we don't get a hurricane in the last 85 years. So
Yeah,
please be
normally
understanding.
it's the fire you're worried about, not the
Right.
opposite. You're caught in the middle of the elements here. Like, you're
Yeah.
prepared for fire, you're not prepared for water.
Well, it's perfect because the climate change hurricane is putting out the climate change fires, so everything balances. It's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, that
Yeah.
works.
There you go. Take that, scientists. What you can do is take your money over to patreon.com/E1M1.
Ones are numbers.
You can support this show financially, which we would greatly appreciate. The $5 a month tier is the recommended one, and that gets you all of the behind-the-scenes, early access, exclusive audio, like Critical Misses. Moon and I are catching up on all the media hits we missed. You get 2-month early access to that. Get a 2-week early access to We Rogue Like It, where Moon and I are playing through... I just added a whole bunch of roguelikes to that list, and it's just like, okay, cool. I turned around, and there's just 300 of them. Okay, great. I blinked, and Steam is just full of roguelikes again. You also get exclusive stuff, like the Wayward Sons, which is the Supernatural TV show watchcast that Moon and Limp are going through, and the Critical Misses production meeting, where Moon and I try to figure out all the gaps in our movie knowledge and, as a side effect of that, kind of do a lot of psychic damage to each other. A lot of like, oh man, you haven't seen that. Okay, another season is this and that and this. And it's like, oh, of course you've seen that, right? Oh, no. Okay, it's 2 more seasons. Let's do this. So.
And then
Yeah.
sometimes, Boston gets a weird edge that dooms us to spend a month in purgatory. Production meeting coming out soon, I believe.
It's also, season 23, episode 1, part 2 is probably the hardest I've made Moon laugh on any of the shows we have ever done. So,
Within about 4 seconds as well.
yeah, even if you are not interested in the movie or the topic or whatever, really recommend giving that one a listen for the wild swings that one takes. You can get all of that stuff and more for just $5 a month over at patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones are the digits.
All right, Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
Nothing. Let's move on. I'm kidding.
All right, Nip.
Kid.
All right.
Kind of nothing.
Okay.
I played Marvel Snap because it's a thing. I did stupid hours at work because that's a thing.
Right.
Game Club game. Did I play anything? Oh, my latest completion. I totally forgot about my latest completion. Oh, it's so nice. You don't even have to do any searches, Boston, because the game is about 4 minutes long, and it's my friend Peppa Pig.
My friend Peppa Pig.
I said you don't have to do a search for it, Boston.
How's Peppa Pig doing?
It's actually not a bad game, if I'm completely honest. It is super simple. It is like literally sticks and a button. Like, you don't really like one stick, one button. And it is shockingly very accurate to the show. Of what little I have seen.
It maintains the lore of Peppa Pig.
Yeah, I mean, it's very important.
The
Yeah.
deep, rich lore.
George,
That's right.
George likes dinosaurs, and he won't shut up saying "rawr."
That's right.
It's fine. It's charming, dumb, and friendly, and all the way a 2-year-old could want.
Yeah.
He says, not knowing the appropriate age for Peppa Pig anymore.
Hey, man, we're all just trying to get through the day.
I'm still surprised that it just looks like the show.
Yeah, it's really hard to find
Literally
footage of...
exactly like the show.
Yeah, if
it's
it
hard to
wasn't for the
find-
button prompts.
Yeah, like, it's hard to find footage of the show or this game because I just keep finding footage of the show. They're like, yeah, Peppa Pig. It's like, no, just the game specifically, please.
I mean, it's fine. You go around town, you do a bunch of things. You take part in a bunch of activities. There's rock pools. Peppa complains that a beach that they go to is not a sandy beach, but a rocky beach. Because what I learned is Peppa is a spoiled ham and should be appropriately cooked because of that.
That's right, get her.
Yeah, rocky beaches suck if you're not prepared for it, okay?
Rocky
Right.
beaches suck, period, dude. Like, there
That's
is no ifs and or buts. A rocky beach is a crap beach. If it's not... And the ironic thing is, I hate beaches. I hate sand, too. Like, I despise sand. I hate open water. I'm terrified of it. Like,
Just cancel the outside.
like that.
We don't need it anymore.
I'm
It
terrified
sounds
of being
like we're
in the
trying to
water.
with the hurricanes and the
That's right.
wildfires.
Tunnel snakes rule.
Yeah.
See, I'm ready.
I'm fine with being on open water. It's in it that's the problem. Well, it's a perfectly fine game. It has its cute moments. Downside is one of the achievements is you have to do every other thing to do an achievement. To get there's like 11 achievements, and you have to do all 10 things for the other achievements before you can trigger the 11th achievement.
Sure. The secret ending, the best route.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you quit the game, you have to do the achievements again to get to the point where you can
Oh boy. Okay.
trigger the final achievement.
Oh, so you have to do it in
and
one
the
sitting?
Yes.
Yeah, your
Which is
one
like
CC
45
run
minutes.
of my Peppa.
It's fine. It's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I will say that secret ending,
Mm-hmm.
it's Potato Land.
What?
Yeah, I'm just saying. You need to look it up, Boston. Like, you need to see what this is on the video, like, as soon as possible.
Potato.
'Cause
Potato City.
It's a fair. It might be that, but it's a fairground made entirely of potatoes.
All right.
Um,
I'm into it.
and it's all about teaching the importance of fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
Led
I like it.
led by the worst vegetable known to man, the potato.
There's nothing wrong with a potato.
It's the lesser of every vegetable. That's what I'm saying. There's
Gasp.
nothing wrong with it. It's the worst vegetable.
Man, I don't. You've got some hot takes today. I'm not sure I can
don't see
follow you
them
on this
making
one.
asparagus fries and mashed, Brussels sprouts, and
I do love Brussels sprouts, though.
if you cook them properly,
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't mind them.
And most importantly,
Brussels sprouts are fine. Fries are air. Mashed potatoes are gross.
sorry if you're not watching the video version. We're looking at a potato with a mustache and an Arby's hat in front of Potato City.
It is a
Yes.
legally distinct Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah,
Yes.
Peppa Pig, please. Let's teach you about IP rights.
As the guy streaming a video game.
What? Self-awareness. That's not for me.
But yeah, it's funny. You go on like a bunch of rides and everything and whatever, but yeah, it's fine. I played a bunch of Marvel Snap. It's a card game. You've heard me talk about it enough at this point. Season update, rank 93. Conquest update, 4 of the 5. Four store items purchased, giving me 5 more store items needed to get the super cool anime-inspired cover of variant of Wolverine,
All right.
which I don't have any other Wolverine variants because they're all crap.
Yeah.
There's like the baby variant, and that's it that I've seen so far, I think. Now, I do have the Old Man Wolverine, which is okay, but the anime one looks cool, so I'm probably going to do some conquest to try and get that. Yeah, it's Marvel Snap. It is a video game that I have played.
Hooray!
That is, yes. We have a Discord channel on the Discord server, like specifically for that game. So if you're interested in it, go jump over there. I'm sure people more capable and with more time than me will be able to help you.
Yeah.
And my last game is, of course, the one game I've been playing too much of, which is Grounded.
Mm.
Yeah, I played that too.
Hey.
With Angel Eye.
Really good. Really, really good. So you go first since you're just starting.
Yeah, Tuesday night, Angel Eye and myself played it. Ferror was meeting up with a bunch of friends, so they weren't able to be on that night. we started out with the pick your character thing. It's like, all right, so we picked it, and then you get dropped off in like the foam suitcase after you've been miniaturized or whatever, and then it took us all of like 2 seconds following a path before we found a hut and then got lost.
Yep.
So we found at first what I thought was a Game Boy. It was not. It was some little, I don't even know what. It was like a little plastic computer thing with like a clear plastic on the top. We were able to, yeah, we were able to get into that, climb around it, couldn't really do anything with it, and then we did just a lot of exploring where we saw ants. We attacked ants. We're like, okay, that wasn't so
Big
bad.
mistake.
Well, no, the worker ants, not so much. Then we found like aphids, which we couldn't for the longest time kill, but then we started getting good, hunting them down and killing them. Then the weevils, so that way we could start eating. And then we just kind of built around the little hut thing that you first find. So we have our beds there, so that way if any of us die, we respawn right there. And then we just kind of explored, and it was fun running around checking things out. Angel Eye apparently has either the best luck or the worst luck because I was building like a fence or something. Yeah, he found a spider like right off the bat.
Oh boy.
And I hear him yell out, "Oh, spider!" And he's like running, and I'm like, "Well, where are you running to?" And I see his little indicator getting closer. And then I see like a bunch of like grass moving around, and I'm like, "Don't bring it here!"
You fool!
So he runs into the little computer thing that I was just talking about, because we were like, I was just like running there. The hole for us to get into is pretty small, and I didn't see how big the spider was, so I was like, maybe you can get away in there. That did seem to be the case because the spider shot a bunch of web and then went away. Eventually,
it was an orb weaver.
I guess, I don't know.
Big black and yellow butt.
I didn't see it, so I don't know what was chasing him.
You were smart. You were running away.
Yeah, I eventually got closer because I was like, hey, stay in there. I will try to get high ground and kind of look around to see if I can see it anymore. And I couldn't, so he broke through the webs and we were good to go. But then later he ran across another spider that he had to run away from.
Goodness.
And we are at the point now at the oak tree. I think it's an oak tree, the big tree thing or whatever.
Yeah. So you've gone to the Oak Lab. Did you meet Burgle yet?
Yep, we went into the lab. We have our missions all set up for that. But while we were trying to get into the lab, there was like spiders all over the tree. So we dodged, I believe, the weaver that you were just talking about. There was one below. We're up on the roots. We're running on like dead leaves, and all of a sudden he's like, whoa, hold on. And he does like the little binocular thing with his hands to scan an enemy.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh,
Which
that's a
wolf
wolf spider.
Incredible.
It's such a good.
Yeah. He just looks through his hands.
It's so good.
We found a wolf spider as well, but we creeped around that thing. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We did take on soldier ants. We each took on one and managed to survive just fine. Our little hub area, we're just calling it a hub, I built a fence around, and then we were screwing around to see if we could build like a taller fence. And we could. At first it didn't seem like we could, but we can. So now we have a 2-tiered fence around our area, and I'm planning on building it around our beds too, just to, I don't know, feel a little safer. I doubt it's going to do anything to the spiders because, you know, they're spiders. So, but
so just as a heads up, they can jump.
Great. That's what I was figuring.
They can jump pretty high, so maybe a roof might be something you want to think about.
We can do that as well. Oh, and because it's in the video now, Angel Eye found the little dandelion. Yeah. And so we realized that he realized you can use those as parachutes, and he got me one too, because I was busy just doing dumb stuff. We figured out that if you drink too much dirty water, you get sick. But if you wake up in the morning and you hunt like the tips of grass and hit the grass, you can knock down dew, so you can drink clean water. Yep. Yeah. So we're figuring it out. It's been interesting.
It's interesting because it doesn't really give you a tutorial. It gives you like minimal hints and tips. The storyline is really useful for helping you with that at this point. I think like the evolution of the quests. But a lot of it is very intuitive. Like if you were looking for water and it's dawn, there's dewdrops on so many of those grass-like blades. But then during evening, there's a lot less of them because they've all dissipated.
Yep. So, we're playing on whatever the default was. I think it's just their normal difficulty or medium. Yeah. That's it. It's like we've just been exploring, trying not to die. We haven't come terribly close because we've been extremely cautious around everything. Taking on the soldier ants, we had one ant separated because we found like an ant mound, and we got one separated and we attacked it. It's like, okay, we're doing pretty decent damage, and then another one showed up. It's like, okay, I'm going to distract this other one. You keep attacking the one that we were doing. That way we get one of them, and then we can go back. And then we just took them both out by ourselves. And it's like, all right, cool. So we got this now. So now he's running around with like a samurai helmet.
Yes, he's got the red ant armor.
Yes.
If you craft and equip a full set of that armor, the red ants will not attack you unless you attack them first, including soldier ants. You can actually go explore their hive with that armor on.
Okay.
As long as you don't steal their eggs, they won't touch you. They will leave you alone the entire time that you're in there.
I say the worker ants, we have not been attacked by them at all. Like they'll show up and they'll follow you around, but they haven't.
They're curious about you. Yes. Yeah. They just come up, give you a little sniff, like a little head tilt, a little squeeze, and then they go on their own way.
You out though when you have headphones on and you're trying to figure out what the noise is that's following you. And the cool thing about it too that we noticed at least with the workers, I didn't notice it with the soldier ones because we only did those two. Is when the worker ants, their eyes are just black, but when you attack them, they turn red. So you can tell that you've aggroed them.
That is a rule for every single insect in the game, is if they're black, they're not aggroed, but if their eyes go red, they are aggroed to something.
Oh, okay. And then ladybugs. We found ladybugs.
Yes.
They are massive, and they make a ton of noise. We did not attack it. Angel, I rode one for a while there, but no, we're following the standard, RPG rule of it's bigger than me, so it's probably more powerful than me.
Yes. For my biggest tip for the ladybug, because they have some really good armor that you will want to get at some point. My biggest tip for them is get a shield and get really used to blocking, because as long as you have a shield, you can block their attacks. Okay. They do a lot of charge attacks, and they self-heal, just so you know.
Oh, do they?
Ooh, yes. Okay. Which is interesting. Yeah, it's so cool though, because the ladybugs are one of my favorite things in Grounded is just standing there, and then like you said, you'll see the grass start swaying.
Yes.
And you don't know what it is, and it's very much a Jurassic Park moment where it's
exactly
what is going to come out of that tree line, for lack of a better word? What is going to come out of that? Is it going to be a ladybug, or is it going to be a wolf spider? And what do I need to do? Do I need to run, or am I okay? That is one of the best things, because you'll just be looking around, and it's just the way I have it set up now. I built my base near the space set, the big plastic thing in the middle. That's the thing you're going to eventually use to make yourself bigger.
Okay.
I built my base really close to that, but I've very recently put a huge tower up on that goes to the oak tree with a zip line on it, so I can just zip line from my base to the oak tree without going through all of that stuff.
Oh, okay.
But it's great when you're going over the top of it and looking down. You can see the grass swaying, but you can't see what's doing it. And it's just I wonder what that is. And you start to get used to it after a while. The wolf spiders have a path, and they will patrol at night, just so you know.
Yeah, we just go to sleep at night. We didn't...
It is probably the best thing to do.
We figured it was going to get worse at night, and you can't see anything. We can build torches and stuff, but yeah, it's pitch black, so we're no, we're just going to sleep. Screw this.
Yes. Yeah. Let's see. Did you run into the haze yet? Because if you went towards the ant mound from the space there, then the haze is just past it. That's the very poisonous area that starts killing you the second you go into it.
I did not. Angel, I may have, but I don't believe we have. No.
Okay. Well, when you get there, there's infected creatures in there, which I don't know if I've mentioned these before.
I don't think so.
It's basically a toxin, like a pest killer that's being sprayed in the garden.
Oh, okay.
Except it's not killing the pests; it's mutating them because of the scientific experiments that have been going on in the garden.
Cool.
By Dr. Wendell Tully.
Yeah, we just learned about him.
Yes. It basically turns like all of the regular beasties into Last of Us beasties.
Oh boy.
Where they have mushrooms growing out of them.
Oh, cool.
And ladybirds are no longer. If you see a ladybird with a mushroom and purple swirly eyes, that indicates they're infected as the purple eyes. Get ready, because that thing will attack you in a heartbeat. And they all have additional attacks, part of being infected. They all have additional attacks. Last week I ran into an infected wolf spider, and it one-shotted me.
Nice.
Which is not great. And then this week, I think I mentioned it last week. Like I killed 2 wolf spiders last week, and I got the methandrism perk, which is basically you're more resistant to venom. So spiders have a lot less impact on you because if you get bit by a poison, watch out for the
I didn't even think about venom in this game because we're fighting spiders. I was thinking they were just going to be more of a one-hit kill no matter what. So great, that's one more thing to worry about.
So all Beaver Juniors have got the worst venom except for the wolf spiders that I've seen so far. All Beaver Juniors don't hit hard, but they hit with poison. The All Beaver Seniors, they mostly just hit and do a little poison. But the methandrism perk is a perk you get by killing wolf spiders, and that gives you increased immunity to venom. And then you kill more wolf spiders to increase the mutation level from like 1, 2, and 3. So I don't know if you've discovered any mutations yet, but basically you uncover the mutations by doing a thing. So, and this is a stupid one that I'm working on because I'm a moron. If you kill a bunch of creatures with your fists, so no weapons, just punch them, you get a perk that increases the damage you do when you punch things.
Okay.
If you kill things with a sword or an axe or anything like that, you get a perk which does that. In my case, one of the first ones I got was the hauling one, which is carrying grass blades. So you increase your hauling capacity by hauling stuff, and then in doing so, you can chop down grass faster and you can carry more. So then you end up going from, it's like 6 blades of grass to build this thing. That's 2 journeys to, I'm carrying 30 on my shoulder and just walking through the garden, like with this huge tower.
I have noticed it seems like, because I built the pallet for the blades of grass, it seems like as long as I am kind of close, like it feels like I can get pretty far away from them, but it feels like when I go to build like the walls, I don't have to be right next to them. It just pulls it automatically, so I don't have to carry the grass. So it's like, all right, this is pretty sweet. But mostly I just built that because we had so much grass around the hut that it's like, all right, we need to clean this up. Yeah. There's just so much crap everywhere.
So when you put them in those pallets, that's basically the storage. It's like a chest for your grass blades, and they'll just use them directly from there. One of the things I got into on my oak ledge, which is the ledge really high up on the oak that I've built so that I can watch color, so that I can have a platform around there. One of the things I got into with that was I would create a pallet, take it with me, plop it on the floor next to a bunch of grass, cut all of the grass down, fill the pallet full, then fill my shoulder full, and then relocate the pallet and then run it all the way back to the base again. So I'm carrying 20 and I've got a pallet of 30 at the same time. So I've just got 50 blades of grass that I can now use towards my construction because I'm that much of a min-maxing dork. But yeah, like this week I killed the infected wolf spider this week with a little help from a ladybug because I needed acorns. The only place you get acorns is at the oak tree. So I went to the oak tree, and the infected wolf spider was wandering around. I jumped on the back of a ladybug. He attacked the ladybug. So it was a back and forth dance of me filling him full of arrows until he aggroed me, and then just playing defense until the ladybug aggroed him, and then getting a bit more height, and then doing the arrows trick again. And I killed him. It was great. Oh, Jesus, what else? Did a bunch. We explored the sandpit, myself and friend of the show, Rob. We explored the sandpit, which is not fun, because it sizzles.
Great.
Like it's too hot?
Because it's hot sand. And it's like walking through the desert because it's a sandbox.
That's pretty fun.
So the floor is hot. We explored a whole bunch of that. We got an antlion armor set, because why not? Which the antlion armor set is the set that you get that reduces the sizzle factor, so that you can do things around in heat because of the special armor that you're wearing. It's essentially the cold tunic from Zelda.
Yeah.
We got that, and now we've started our slow foray into the upper garden, which is only minorly terrifying, because we made it to a wood pile, and there's a bunch of termites there. Oh, and I'm not kidding when I tell you I've got a screenshot of me standing in a corridor, a dirt corridor, with like 20 termite bodies on the floor in front of me because they wouldn't stop attacking me.
Jeez.
I mean, granted, I'm probably in the termite hut, so it's kind of on me. I get that. But still, I felt a little bit perturbed that that was the situation. No, it's stupid fun. Running into new animals again now, which is always terrifying, trying to get the tier 3 equipment so we can destroy everything and collect everything that we need to. At that point, it's complete the story and do the raid bosses.
Oh, fun.
Don't even know what those are. Our raid boss so far is a spider. From what I understand, think of the scariest insects that you can think of, and it's them, basically.
Oh boy.
Nice. Okay.
So
like centipedes.
The scariest spider you can think of. That's one of them.
The raid boss from Borderlands 2. That guy.
Yep.
Jeez.
That
what was that? Cromarax was his name? Is that it?
That sounds. That sounds familiar, but I don't know if that's because it sounds familiar. Because what's the Destiny one that started with core something or other?
I don't remember.
I don't either. Anyway.
The praying mantis. There's an insect you haven't seen yet.
Oh, no thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
like
that's one of the raid bosses
too.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's my point.
Goodness.
It's like fighting a long neck.
I don't know. I love Grounded. Like the charm is just unreal in so many different aspects. Like this, I get why this couldn't be a procedurally generated game. I kind of wish they could have, but I get why it isn't, because everything is just built with like such care and attention to every single part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's just really well done. Like every aspect of it so far, that like the shout out lines, the insects themselves, the fact that I'm building a menagerie of like stuffed animals inside of my house now, because why not? Also, when you build the stuffed animals, you can rub them for luck, and it gives you increased drops from those animals.
Oh, fun.
It's like we can already do like the wall mounts and stuff, like the head trophy hunt mounts and stuff like that.
So I think the wall-mounted stuff, that gives you a 25% damage increase against that particular insect or type of insect.
Okay.
And then the stuffed version gives you increased drops, and you can activate them both at the same time. So right now, I'm working on a zipline web that runs through the entire garden. I've got one from my house to the tree, from my house to the picnic table, from my house to the hedge maze, which is probably where you guys are going to be going next after you finish the oak tree.
Probably.
And these take a lot of silk fiber, and you get silk fiber by collecting spider webs. So I made a stuffed spiderling and a wall-mounted spiderling. I give him a little rub. I get on my zip line over to the hedge. Look forward to that, Nim. And then I just basically make the climb, killing all of the spiderlings that I go. And then now I've got 101 spiderweb, which I'm turning into silk fiber. And then I take that silk fiber and I turn it into a zip line so I can get to other places faster.
Cool. I do like so far too. The thirst and the hunger meters aren't big major issues. And durability so far is not a major. Like I've been using the same axe this entire time, and usually in other games I would be on like my 20th or 30th axe by now. So
and to be honest, like all of that stuff is like you can repair it in your main menu too. So like,
can you?
If you pull up your inventory and highlight it, I think the Y button is the repair button, and it's always you always repair it with items associated with its crafting.
Smart.
So like the first axe that you get, I think it's the Pebble axe. It's basically just it's a sprig and a stone. Essentially, is what you use to repair it. You use a pebblet to do it. You and then it brings it all the way back to full health, and you just keep using it, and that allows you to upgrade it as well and keep using it that way until you upgrade it to a tier 2 axe or a tier 3 axe. Like it feels just so nicely, perfectly balanced on all of the aspects of it. Like you said, the hunger, the thirst, all of that stuff is just really nicely done.
Yeah.
Granted is great. Like, it's so much fun. I just unlocked how to craft a mace made of mint. So I'm curious to see exactly what that does.
Oh, interesting.
Mint kills like certain insects too.
Yeah.
I believe so. But no, it's fun. I'm enjoying it. Only other thing I really played was like an hour or so of Breath of the Wild. Which is Breath of the Wild. I got the white horse at last, which is something I never did before.
Oh, nice.
That horse has got a lot of spares.
Nice.
I know. Other than that, that's all I've been playing, unless you got anything else on Grounded Nymph. You take it away.
Yeah, no. The next game I played so far is Ghostwire Tokyo. I am always going to say that backwards for some reason. I've just been screwing around in this game. I've completed all of the cat side missions, so I've collected all of the relics. I have completed all of the side quests, and now I'm just kind of floating around looking for souls. I'm at like 223,000 souls, and altogether there's like 240,000. So I am getting there. I actually did 2, I forget what they call them, death parades, death marches, whatever they call them.
Yep.
I was very hesitant to initiate that because they look like a really big deal. And they probably are at the start of the game, but now that I've got like everything almost maxed out, I'm like, oh, okay, it's just one more thing to contend with now. Cool. It looks really cool, but basically all you do is you'll see in a weird, creepy way, all the lights will flicker in the town, in the area that you're in, and then everything will kind of go dark, and then you'll start to see mist or fog come from like one end of the street, and then you will see forms in there, and you can either run away from it because it won't chase you at all, or you can just walk into it. And if you walk into it, it opens up a portal and basically sucks you into another, like a dimension, basically. And then you just do like these wave fights. And like I said, there's no way you'd be able to do this like first thing when you see them. But now that I'm doing them, I'm like, all right, cool. This is just a fun extra thing that I get to do. And it gives you a ton of souls once you beat all of the waves. So it seems like they're on their own in-game timer. I just run into them every once in a while. I don't know if there's a rhyme or reason for it, but I just find them randomly. The other thing that I did was I completed the school side quest, which was apparently DLC stuff. And that, I hate that stupid mannequin.
It's so good.
That SCP so good, dude. Garbage. Oh my god. I think Musim talked about, because I don't know if at the time you guys did it in the game club or not, but
we hadn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the stupid mannequin is the thing that if you don't look at it, it will move.
Yep.
Yes.
And
it's the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who, for those of you who like that
squeakier.
reference.
But
yes.
If I didn't let it, but I'm assuming that it's a one-hit kill if it gets anywhere near you, you know, while you're not looking at it. Because it's basically just like red light, green light kind of thing, where it just freezes when you're looking at it. And you can shoot it and dismantle it, but it will quickly organize itself and then come chasing after you. And you can close doors, but then it will freak out. Even with you looking at it, it will freak out and start pounding on the doors and like do like this weird stuff until it finally gets the door open, and then it'll come after you. So that was fun, trying to explore the rest of the school with that thing coming after me.
Yeah.
And then its last, the whole school thing itself was kind of creepy, like creepier than the main game, which was great. My son was watching me play it the entire time that I was doing it. But you're searching for an item, and when you find the last item, you're basically looking through a glass, and that stupid thing just like shows up and bangs into the glass. And at that point though, you have already done what you needed to do and you've dispelled it. But holy hell, did I jump out of my seat.
Yeah.
Like I knew it was around and it had disappeared for a moment, so then I'm freaking out, making sure that the doors around me were still closed and it wasn't in the room hiding somewhere that I couldn't see it. And then it does that, and I'm like, no. It's just
no thanks, I'm out.
Yeah. So that was a cool side quest, knocking that out. But yeah, right now I might try the spider thread stuff. I did like the first level of it, or just to see what it was, and that wasn't too bad. But I'm guessing it's gonna get way worse.
Yeah.
Did you go all the way through it, Moon, or did either of you go through it all the way?
I didn't.
Yep. I have full gamer score in that game, so I beat the hell out of that thing.
I completed the first level of that, and I believe I'm in like the waiting level where you can go shopping and stuff, because it brought up, hey, you know, the cats are here for you to buy stuff from, and you can use currency for this and that. I'm like, cool, I can finally save. This seems like a good stopping point right now. So I'm gonna keep screwing around. I should probably actually look at what the achievements are, because I got to be getting close to a bunch of them at this point. And I've just been screwing around. I'm not even looking like to do them. It's just I've been getting them for playing the game, because I've just been enjoying just tooling around. So between that and the gliding, it reminds me a lot of Spider-Man when that came out a couple years ago, where it's like getting the platinum for that game. It was just fun, just like going around the city web slinging. And that's kind of the same thing I'm getting with this, where it's like, I throw out, you know, my Tengu, grapple to it, and then I'm just kind of like spirit coasting from rooftop to rooftop,
right?
And, you know, just finding crap, and it's just been a lot of fun messing around with it. So yeah, Ghostwire Tokyo. If you have not played it, you should check it out. May not be for everyone. Yes. You will definitely need to adjust your controls.
Yep.
But I mean, I'm having a hard time putting it down.
Yes. Yep.
So yeah. My last game that I played this week was Everspace 2. I don't know if anyone else touched it.
I installed it and I haven't played it yet.
Okay. I'm only a couple hours into it because I wanted to play more Ghostwire. So it feels different from the first one. Besides the systems, I just mean flying wise, it feels different. It's been a while since I've played the first game. I played it on PC way back when. But it doesn't feel bad. Like, it feels fine.
It just controls differently.
Yeah, it just feels where you use your left stick for throttle, right stick is for looking around and actually, you know, navigating where your ship goes. I've upgraded, or I've found like different components to put on my ship. I'm now at a point where I can buy different ships. Ooh. But the ones that I want to buy are like 98,000 credits, and I just now got up to like 40,000 credits. And anything that I can afford, there's a lot of, well, this one has like one less device slot and it has less shields than what you currently have, kind of thing. And it's like,
right.
But if I wait and save up, though, like everything's green across the board, so I've just been waiting to do that. The crap thing is, though, is that I don't know if it's when you leave the system or if you leave the shop and come back, it randomizes what ships are available for purchase.
Oh, interesting.
So I have not, the one ship that I was looking to buy, I have not seen since the first time I had seen it.
Right.
So it's kind of weird.
Did it start with a G and end with an unship? Because it really should.
Man.
No, I have not seen a gunship yet.
Fingers
the one
crossed.
I was looking at, I think, was called the Nightmare FPY 80.
Ooh, all right.
Something along those lines. So, there was another one that came up that looks like an X-wing, and I'm like, that looks really cool, but I still cannot afford that.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's basically you go through it. Still keeps the same cutscenes of, hey, there's like these still shots, and then like the still shots kind of move a little bit, but they're not like full, animated things that you're watching. You are in basically like a hub that you can fly around in. Then you can do your jump drive, which basically puts your ship in a bigger map, and you can choose where you want to go from there. You can explore the whole map. Let me take that back. You can explore this whole section of the map that you have access to. Eventually, you can explore the rest of the map, and you're picking a spot and then you're dropping into an instance, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a bunch of crap for you to do, and on the way in between the jump drive travel, there's usually random things like, hey, unidentified source signal here, so you can choose to disengage from where you were going and drop off in this location and see what that is. 9 times out of 10 it's a trap, so just go in there guns blazing.
There you go.
Or you'll get like an SOS transmission, or just an unidentified, hey, point of interest, you should probably stop and check this out. And usually it's like, hey, it's an asteroid field and there's like a bunch of minerals in here that you can blow up and take in for crafting. That's about it.
Nice.
It's been fun. I've almost died twice so far just playing it on the regular difficulty. Because there's a couple of pirate fights that I got into where they push out drones, and those drones are either like a sniper drone or they shoot out like tons of homing missiles. So there was a lot of almost not making it moments in those fights.
Right.
So, but I just haven't played a whole lot of it yet.
Yeah.
But so far, it has been fun.
Nice.
That's all I have to say about it right now. I hope there is a gunship in here, and I hope it's great.
Hopefully.
But it almost feels like, I don't know if they just have like a bunch of pre-generated ships, or if it's kind of like the whole No Man's Sky of, yeah, we have like all these parts, and the game just makes whatever ship to show up at any instance, kind of thing.
Right.
I don't know. So, but I hope we get some cool looking ships. I want a bigger ship because this tiny little scout thing that you start out with is tiny, and I would like something really big that I can just open up all bays and just cause all kinds of hell on my side of the galaxy. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm planning on playing more of that, but that's all I played this week. It was just a lot of Ghostwire.
Yeah. 2 real quick ones for me. I finished Diablo 4. I have seen the ending of that. I'm not going to spoil it, but that went pretty much exactly the way I was expecting it to. So
yeah,
it's a Blizzard game. So you're not getting a lot of storyline.
No last minute plot twist or
yeah, like you're really not getting a lot of surprises there, which is fine. Yeah. As soon as I finished it, I went and created my seasonal character though, and this whole thing with like eternal characters and seasonal characters and all that is really confusing, because the game, I don't think I talked about it last week or the week before, whenever we figured it out, but TVGP alumnus the Hannah told me that he was playing the campaign on a seasonal character, and I was like, wait, that the game says you can't do that in its own menu. The thing it's really trying to tell you is, if you want to create a seasonal character and you haven't completed the campaign yet, you can't skip the campaign when you create a new character, which is fine. But now that I completed the campaign, I created a necromancer and picked the skip campaign option, and it just dumps you in the middle of that big city at the very beginning at level 1. It's like, peace, good luck.
Oh, okay.
It's just like, dang, all right, okay, cool.
Does it just give you like your seasonal objectives and you just figure it out from there?
Nope.
Oh, you don't even get that?
Nope. You're at the very beginning of the game, level 1 with literally nothing, and it's just like, hey man, have fun. Thankfully, like, literally right next to the waypoint that you start at is the seasonal, like the start of the seasonal quest. So you have to try really hard to miss it, especially because, like every game, the seasonal quest has like a little leaf icon on it. I did start number 1, having blast with the necromancer. That's not too much of a surprise, but I'm level like 23 or something. I'm having a real good time.
So your warriors and your mages, and you're like what, 2 off from getting your golem?
Something like that. Yeah, I think it's like 25 is golem, I think.
Yeah.
Having a lot of fun with those so far. I'm having a bit of a hard time wrapping my head around because I completed on my main character. I completed the campaign, and then there's like 1 or 2 really quick post-campaign quest lines of like, go here and talk to this person, go to this other place, talk to this person. And as soon as I was done with those, I didn't go to the tree to go talk to it. And that apparently is the thing that opens up all the sort of post-game stuff. So
that's where you get your missions and your extra armor and stuff.
Right, and like now that I'm starting my seasonal character, all of that stuff is open at the beginning, where it's like, here's a ton of extra icons on the menu and all these events, and you're gathering these things for the tree, and get 10 of them, and then you go get a cache, and I'm like, okay, that's maybe a bit much. So let's focus on the seasonal stuff. And that stuff has been pretty straightforward so far, where it's like, someone's on the road, if you go west and you run into someone and do one of the seasonal dungeons, and you learn all about the malignant hearts that are part of the seasonal thing. And then pretty quickly the game's just like, yeah, do the first 2 chapters of the seasonal journey. Good luck. And it's basically the like 8, 9, 10 objectives in the first 2 things, which are all fine. It's like upgrade your potion once, complete 3 dungeons in this area, do get to level 10, things like that. It's all straightforward stuff you're going to be doing anyway, so it's not too bad. I think I only have 1 or 2 more objectives in the second set of challenges to do, and then I'm curious what will happen after that. But so far it seems good. This is where I like these types of games, which is basically like, you finish the campaign, just do whatever you want at this point. There's a 1,000,001 dungeons for me to go do. There's like even more oh god, what are they called, cellars, 1,000,000 of those to do. I haven't even done my first capstone dungeon. I don't even know
what that is.
If I'm understanding the menus correctly, that's the thing you complete to unlock the next world tier. I'm not even on world tier 2 because I tapped out. I finished the campaign at like level 43 or something. So I didn't even have.
Did you have an issue with when you had to fight those 3 bosses? I think that was a story mission where you had to fight like 3 or 4 bosses at once.
No, at the end, it was actually, there was only that one big like maggot boss that was eating you. That was the only boss that gave me trouble. Everything else was actually pretty good.
I say, because that was the only thing that gave me trouble, and that was right when I turned it to tier 2 and had to turn it back down to tier 1.
Oh yeah, yeah. It surprisingly was pretty fair. Fearer in chat says, "Does Diablo control similar to MOBAs?" Yeah, kind of. I actually like how these kind of action RPGs control nowadays, because it's really just the left stick is going to move your character around, and in Diablo 3, the right stick did that semi-useless dodge thing, which is at least a little bit more useful in this. Right stick doesn't do anything anymore, as far as I can tell.
I think it allows you to do target locking. If you click it in, you can lock onto the target, and then you can move the lock on around. I think.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that much on a barbarian.
Neither was
I. But yeah, I like that they have figured out how to make these games control really well, which is basically just on PC it's fine that you click to move or click hold to run, but on console or on controller you just need direct control, and like don't even try to do anything else at that point. So so Diablo 4 still good. I'm kind of anticipating this point now where, you know, a lot like a lot of these other games, you complete the campaign, the training wheels are kind of off, and now you can start messing with builds. And, you know, at some point, once I level up any character to 50, I can do some Paragon stuff and, you know, start getting sets and things like that.
Look that stuff up too.
Yeah, I haven't even seen it because I haven't been level 50 yet. So
I've got so many Paragon points, and I just don't want to get into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, spending those first couple are the rough ones. So
yeah.
Last game here is Vampire Survivors. The new engine came out this week, along with I forgot to mention it last week, but the couch co-op stuff came out last week too. I haven't played any of that, but apparently it works really, really well. But I realized before the new engine came out, I realized I hadn't gone through all the secrets. You know, so there's two menus. There's the unlocked menu, which is the 190 something items in the checklist. And then there's another menu that has a bunch of like hints spells. Or riddles for spells to unlock stuff. And I think almost all of them, if not all of them, are just kind of ridiculous secret characters. And a lot of them are like, in Green Acres with a horrible curse, run off the edge of the map. And it's sort of like, okay. Most of them are fairly obvious. There's one about like being a good boy and Ilmalise or whatever that map is. I had to look that one up. I didn't understand that one. So I've been kind of going through those and seeing if I could figure out the puzzle. The only bummer thing is there's one ghost character you unlock in there that you put in the code. I don't know how many people would know this, but you put in the code that is the luck character code from Symphony of the Night, and the game just tells you what code to put. It's like I-X something. That unlocks a ghost character, and in the PC version, there's a secret that says you need to uppercut a non-red Reaper. And for that one, you play as that character, you kill a non-red Reaper, and then once it perishes, you hit down and enter at the same time, and then the like a legally distinct Toasty guy from Mortal Kombat pops up on the screen, and you unlock a ghost called Toasty. The thing is, you can't do that on the console or mobile versions, because they never put anything in to allow you to do the move. So those are the ones on the console versions, at least, you have to use the optional codes, because all of those characters and literally anything in the game, you can just go into that menu, type in a code, and unlock it, which I think is great. So it's like, you just started the game, you want to unlock Poe because he's the coolest, knock it out, knock yourself out. Just put a code in there. You want to unlock the like super ultra mega final boss, whatever, put in a code. So I had to unlock the other two ghosts using that, which was kind of a bummer because I wanted to unlock them like not legitimately, but like going through the full process. But you can't.
So legitimately.
You know what? I'm not here to judge, but for me, legitimately. But you can't on the console, which is kind of a bummer. The other one is even more annoying because you have to type a whole bunch of stuff using your keyboard in various menus in the game to unlock that third ghost. So that was a no-go either. So I went through and I did all that, and when the big patch came out with the new engine, I hopped in, and I've done probably like 10 or 12 runs over the last couple days just to see how it is. And man, does this engine run way better. They were not joking. It runs way better kind of in the very late game where you have, 12 to 16 items. They're all leveled up. They're all evolved. They're all doing, each one of them is doing 50 explosions on screen at once. That sort of stuff. But the thing that I think impresses me the most is when a menu pops up when you're doing a run for, opening a chest, picking an upgrade, stuff like that. That stuff runs way better. It's one of those things where it's like I never realized how kind of choppy and slow and weird that was until I was running that. I was like, wait, that runs real well. So it's not just, hey, the frame rate is better when things get bonkers in like minute 29, but kind of every part of the game runs better. And this might sound weird, but thankfully the game looks exactly the way it always has. That kind of not
it's like an NES game.
Yeah, the kind of like not great looking game that I really like, that I enjoy. And
the best part about it was that it just seemed so low powered, and yet it was making my Series X chug at certain points.
Yeah, so it's they spent a bunch of time before this came out saying like, we spent a lot of time really focusing on making it look and feel exactly the same because that's what people like about it. So you kind of don't want to mess with the stuff that people like. And I'm really happy to see that they really did make all that stuff work exactly as it did before, which is really great. So Vampire Survivors is great. There was a blog post from them on their Steam page. Essentially, they had a bunch of facts about like, are you guys gonna do this? Are you gonna do online multiplayer? Are you gonna do this and that? And they're like, oh man, we need to sleep. Like we're taking a little bit of a break. Like this was a lot getting the new engine and getting on Switch and all that stuff. So give us a break, man. Like just chill out for a little bit. So I appreciate that.
There have been, I know in Discord, I think it was Pharaoh that was asking about how like Nextlander was playing it co-op, and they were saying that they were using what do they call it? It wasn't Plex. It was something else that started with a P.
Parsec. That's what they usually use. Yeah.
Yeah, they were using Parsec, and that was allowing them to play co-op. So.
Yeah, and the developers are actually like, look, we might do online co-op someday, but in the meantime, just use the Steam, whatever Steam's multiplayer thing is. They're essentially like tunneling thing. Just use that. Like that works really well. It should work pretty well for you. If not, maybe someone will come up with something that works a little better. So, which I appreciate. Them just sort of being like, hey, here's an option. It might not be the best, but man, we're tired. It's like, yeah. All right. I respect it.
This blew up in a way we did not expect it to blow up.
Exactly. All right, real quick. Usually we're going to take a break here, but I want to blow through our releases here because it's getting worse out there. Yeah, and my wife just texted me and said, hey, the lights are flickering down here, so let's go. Releases.
Hurricane.
Yeah, releases for the week of August 21st, 2023. First up is Fort Solis for PS5 and PC. This is a third-person sci-fi horror game. Stop me if you've heard that before.
What?
Looks a whole lot like a Dead Space-like, one might say.
No, don't tell me that. I don't need to buy more games. In fact, I actually need to not spend any money having dropped $1,000 this week. So please, no.
Yeah, so hopefully it's good. I don't recognize this developer. I think this might be their first thing. So we'll we'll see how this kind of shakes up in the reviews here. Immortals of Avium is our next game. Comes out on PS5, series consoles, and PC. They are touting this as from the creators of Dead Space and Call of Duty. It's a single-player first-person shooter with magic. So if you liked Ghostwire Tokyo, you liked shooting stuff with magic, maybe this would be a similar...
like Ghostwire.
Yeah.
Ghostwire has pretty high expectations right now.
Yeah, you got to be real good to beat Ghostwire, and I say that as someone who went going to Ghostwire looking to hate it and came out loving it. So I don't know. This looks kind of cool. Like if you wanted, kind of a Ghostwire thing that is fantasy based. This looks kind of neat. I'm gonna keep kind of half an eye on this because I think Immortals of Avium looks like it could be pretty cool. But this is the studio's first title, so.
Like the hand changing is just like pew pew pew. They don't have actual finger guns, and it doesn't do that weeb stuff that I love so much with Ghostwire.
Maybe that's
gymnastics.
Yeah, maybe that's the like ultimate weapon is the finger guns. Just pew pew pew. Got to get the good ending for that one. Next up here is WrestleQuest.
Stands for big finger gun.
Exactly. Yep. Nothing else. WrestleQuest, that got delayed to this week. That's coming out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series Console, Switch, and PC. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. That's that command RPG, pixel-based professional wrestling RPG, which I'm still very happy is a thing that is actually coming out and happening, because I think that looks really dumb and fantastic. So, next up here, Blasphemous 2 is coming out PS5, Series Console, Switch, and PC. Much like the first one, this is a incredibly violent Metroidvania, and people
heard a lot of good things.
Yeah, people really liked that first one. I just never got around to it, and people are like feral at the idea of this second one. So people really seem to like these a lot, and I like a Metroidvania. I just haven't really gotten into any of these before, but very, very cool style. The first one had a really cool style, and this one somehow looks even better. I think they look really fantastic. So. Next up is Unpacking, comes to iOS and Android. This is a premium purchase. I don't remember how much it costs, but there are no in-app purchases or ads. So thankfully, you just buy it once and you're done, which I would be pretty bummed if they put ads or something in Unpacking, because I feel like that would maybe sort of go counter to Unpacking's chill nature.
Literal opposite of the vibe check.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the vibe check being like, hey, which one of these do you pull? And the lava goes on to the dude. It's like, no, please. I'm just trying to unpack all these baby chickens and put them on my bed, please. So that'll be pretty cool. I'm excited for that to be on
$10 on iOS. So I'm assuming it's the same on Android too, or Google.
That's so cheap. That's such a good deal. Jeez. And last but certainly not least, Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon comes out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series Consoles, and PC. God, this looks so stupid good. I'm
excited.
I have missed Armored Core so much. I don't remember the last one I played, but man, 6 looks really good.
Last one I played was 4, I think.
Last one I played was like 1, maybe? I don't remember.
The last one I played was the PS3 one, and that one came out like mid-cycle, I think.
So it's 2 or 3.
Been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a very, very long time, and man, this game looks real good.
Else getting like Zone of Enders vibes from this gameplay footage as well.
That's why I'm super looking forward to it.
Yep, I'm very excited for Armored Core to be back. Largely because we have not had a cool mech game like this in a long time, and also I'm very curious to see how people with From Software being so big over the last decade, essentially, let's say, and even bigger here with Elden Ring. Armored Core is a very, very, very different game, so I'm curious to see if the kind of current From Software fans, if they'll click with this. I hope they will, because it's a really cool game. It's kind of more of a puzzle game than I think people give it credit for.
I was gonna say it's super hardcore, but just not in the way people have been used to from Software in the last 15, 20 years now.
Right, like you're supposed to figure out the best way to make your mech have the best loadout for each mission. Is you're not supposed to have like the strongest mech. It's the perfect one for this mission you're going to do, and then you're going to have another mission and you're going to have to change it up in between. So,
but then if you want to go in there overweighted but maxed out with firepower, you can do it. The game isn't going to stop you. You just might not have a good time.
Yeah, you might not be able to finish the mission. Yeah. Armored Core is super cool. I'm going to keep an eye on this and see how this is. I might be in the mood for an Armored Core. Who knows?
I know a lot of the people who got review codes are like, yeah, you should pay attention to the review.
You probably check this guy out. Yeah. Wink, wink. Yeah. But that's all of our releases for this week. We're going to save our questions and news stories for next week when there's hopefully less wind and rain. But I am going to remind you to visit us at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page, including a link to the Discord server. Go join that. Also, discord.tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is over there. And go visit us at the Patreon page, patreon.com/E1M1.
Ones and numbers.
If you can't support us financially, totally understand. The best thing you can do to support the show, or anything you really love, is tell your friends. Be super annoying about it, please. That's a huge help.
Yep.
And go like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube channel. That stuff really does help. And share on social media, whatever social media platform exists and is not halfway on fire at the moment.
That's all of them, dude.
Yeah, sadly. But you can still do your part by sharing our great stuff. And I think that's it. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
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 I only have one title. Hopefully you have more, Nimp.
I do.
Okay.
I have Take That Scientist, My Friend Peppa Pig, Sticks and a Button, Rocky Beach is a Crap Beach. See if you guys notice a theme with this. Secret Ending Potato Land. And Peppa Pig, Let's Teach You IP Rights.
Moon, what do you have?
Take That Scientist, 1cc run of Peppa Pig, legally distinct to Mr. Potato Head, start with a G, end with an unship, the Weeb Stuff, and BFG, Big Finger Guns.
Start with a G, end with unship. I have Big Finger Gun, Take That Scientist, and start with a G, end with unship. I kind of like the BFG one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works for me.
Well, which one do we want to do? Do we want to say like BFG : Big Finger Gun, or do we just want to put Big Finger Gun and leave it in the episode?
I like just Big Finger Gun. Don't specify BFG in front of it. Let it figure it out.
It feels like more of a TVGP title where you look at it and you go,
it's a puzzle.
What the hell are they? What would they even be talking about?
Do a search for that, please, Boston, because there's no way that has not been used.
Big Finger Gun. Getting a lot of Shadow the Hedgehog. as you should. Finger gun. Foam hands. Yep, perfect. Finger guns from Borderlands 3 hits really hard. Yep, perfect. I don't see anything objectionable.
I was talking
Do I have
about for
safe
the show,
search off?
title-wise.
Oh. It doesn't... No. Apparently we have not done that. Shocking.
Somehow.
Yeah.
In 826 episodes, not once has Big Finger Guns been a title? What?
And how many times have we played Dead Space 1 and 2? I'm disappointed
Or
on this.
Doom.
Right.
And Doom.
Yeah.
And everything else in between.
Yeah.
And Ghostwire Tokyo, which is literal finger guns.
Literal finger guns, yeah. Man.
I am ready.
I'm ready.
The smile concerns me. All right,
That's
starting
what I
in.
can't use.
Okay. It's tucking that away for later. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 826 for August 21st, 2023. Big Finger Gun.
Not the same if you don't do the gymnastics.
It's the final step for prostate cancer.
Oh,
And
yourself
Nick
checked,
gets
man.
cut out the intro.
No, it's important. Go see your doctor.
Yes.
If you know what a floppy disk is, go get your prostate checked. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. I'm going to cut this before we either get in legal trouble or my power gets cut. So, bye.
See ya.
Bye.